Hi, it's Dr. Lori, and you're going to go thrifting with me, thrifting with the expert, with Dr. Lori. That's what we're doing today, and I found a great place to go thrifting. So this is, of course, Karen, and Karen's the owner of the Silver Penny in Jones Mill, Pennsylvania, a wonderful thrift and antique store, and we're going shopping. I know you've all been waiting to go shopping with me, and now we're going shopping with me and Karen. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Good. How are you, Dr. Lori?
Good. How long have you owned the shop?
I've owned the shop off and on for the last 30 years.
Wow, that's wonderful. I'm excited to see what you got. So let's see. I like the wicker. You know, when certain seasons, wicker is really fun. It's nice for a porch, and I like the set. So, you know, those three pieces right together, a nice little set right there. 2 chairs and a table. What else do you need, right? So those came in, and it looks like they're in pretty good condition. I would always look for the front, like when I'm looking at pieces like this, I'm going to look at that front panel, because that's where the front panel is where you're going to see the comfort. The back panel is where you're going to make sure you have the support for the weight, you know? So it looks like pretty good condition. I always turn them upside down, Karen. Do you do that?
I do.
Yeah. So Karen's a seasoned veteran, of course, but so when you look and you look at them upside down, what she showed you is that X piece. Karen, I don't want you to lift it too much, but just turn that over for me for a second. That X piece at the bottom. So that's a nice, good support. A lot of these chairs don't have that nice support. So it does matter when you're in these places, when you're looking for vintage pieces, that you're actually saying to yourself, all right, I want to see and make sure that I've got the better quality pieces. That's a good quality wicker chair because of that, what's called an etch stretcher and X support. And that support actually gives you reinforcement for all the areas around the chair. So that's one of the things I want you to look for. And that's why we're doing this, because we're going to shop, shop, shop. So how much are the chairs?
The chairs are $30 a piece.
Okay, so the chairs are $30 a piece, so that's $60. And then there's the table, right? Now, I would bet that a place like yours that's been in business for 30 years is open to negotiating within reason. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So most of the folks are saying, you know what, I want to think about that. So 60 for 2 chairs plus the table. How much is the table?
The table's $35.
Okay. So so for under $100, you could get something that's going to basically change the whole look of a porch. Let's see, what else have we got? So we give you some tips as we go shopping, because when I go shopping, I want you to use information so you can actually learn a little bit about what to look for when you're there. Okay, what else have we got?
This is just the top of a hutch. But
Top of a hutch, so it could be used as a pie cabinet, right?
Correct.
Or it could be used as a bookcase, or it could be used for records, right? Because vinyl's back.
Yes.
Could also be used for the typical knick-knack curio cabinet. So you're repurposing that hutch. Now, you know what I don't like about that, Karen? You know, I don't like that it has no handles, no knobs, that you have to actually get your hands or your fingernails in there to pull it, because then the oils on your hands are always pulling that. Now, maybe people don't mind that. So, you know, and of course, you know, all of you know me, I'm a purist. And when I go shopping, I'm thinking about how is this going to be used? How are you really going to use this? So first of all, purity is important. When I say purity, to keep it the way it was originally intended. So it had a catch, so you're not drilling holes. I don't really like that. The wavy glass is always what you're looking for. People love that because you know it's old. So that means it's a 19th century, early 20th century piece, right? Late 1800s, early 1900s. I like that the wood grain and the wood color is all the same, right? So I know that the cornice, which is that top piece, has not been added later. Thank you very much for the camera work. So I like that cornice is the same. I don't like it when they actually two-tone it. You know, they put something new onto something old. So you've got to look for those kinds of things. What do you look for? I have a
hard time when people paint good furniture.
Yeah, a lot of people like to repurpose and they like to repaint things. And, you know, but within, you know, you have to know what you're doing first, right? You have to know what you have before you repaint. Sometimes it looks great when you repurpose and you repaint. But again, you also have to know. So I appreciate that. That's a nice solid hardwood piece. So that's a nice piece that can be really functional in a lot of ways. I like that one. So what's the price on that one, Karen?
That one's $200.
Okay, $200 is an investment, right? So I think it's a nice piece. It's an investment, but that piece is going to be the kind of piece that's going to Maybe it's going to show your Hummel figurine collection. Maybe it's all of your teacups and saucers collection. Maybe it's going to be for, like I said, those vinyl records or even the CDs. I hate to admit it, but the CDs are now vintage, right? So,
Right.
you know, those kinds of things. So that's a nice piece, but that's a piece that you'd say, okay, look at this. It's really pretty great. Okay, I like that. How about the ceramics on top? Color. So we like the color. Yeah, I like that. So when I see that at the bottom, when I see that kind of attention to detail, first thing I saw, of course, is of course where you've got stress. Yeah, the cracks. Karen knows. So you got the cracks. So you're looking at that and I'm saying, all right, what's going to happen? I also look at that indentation around the top. Do you see that indentation around the top? That means that there was a lid intended, right?
Right.
Karen's, our hands today, we're so lucky. So basically there was a lid or some other type of top that went there. Now, okay, you don't have the top, that's fine. And you can put something in there, a candle, a plant, some little dried flowers the way Karen has it, that's fine. The other thing I want you to remember, if you're in some of these stores and it does have a lid, I want you to shake that lid and make sure that that lid actually matches that piece. So you want to make sure that it actually fits onto that piece. That's still a nice piece. How much is that piece? See, now me, I wouldn't give too much for that piece.
Well, that piece is $10.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd go 10. I'd probably try to negotiate with you on that. I'd probably, will you take 8? You know, that kind of thing. Because that piece is okay to me. And this is all about, of course, taste and quality, right? All right, what's the blue one? I like the blue one. We love color, right? I like the blue. I like the striations. I like the form. I like the mark. That's a nice piece.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice piece. So Italian made, and that piece is probably imported into the United States sometime in the 1950s or 60s. Why? You see the gilt, the gold color, those striations or those stripes all the way around. You notice how it gets nice and bulbous? That's a very mid-century modern kind of form too. I like that piece. I might pay more for that piece. How much is that one?
This one is marked 20.
I like that. For 20, I would take that, and I bet that can be resold into the 50s, 60s range, $50 or $60 range. That's a nice piece. Why? The color is attractive. The decorative nature is attractive. It's not overwhelmingly big. It's not teeny tiny, too small. That piece will make a nice little statement as an accessory. I think you're too low on that, Karen.
Okay.
Okay. But you know what? I want you to remember, I'm not buying any of this. I'm leaving it all there for you to find. I'm going to show you the money. I'm going to show you the bargains, and then go off to the Silver Penny and meet Karen and go find the stuff. What else have we got, Karen? Let's see.
I have a...
Oh, nice glass. That's nice. All right. So the little barrel shaped
jug.
Oh, so fun. So fun. Clear glass can be fun too. We all love color, but clear glass can be fun too. That, of course, has that nice decoration element. And then there would be a spout, right?
Right. Here and here.
Right there and there. Okay. And over time they get lost out. But you know what? I don't mind that either. Some people love the hunt. Now, I love the treasure hunt. You all know that about me. I love the treasure hunt. So basically, some people will buy that piece and then try to, in their travels, find the pieces that go with it. And that's a good idea too. You can find them now because there's lots of sources. There are sources like, of course, your antique shops and your thrift stores and such, but there's also all the online sources for everything from architectural salvage to these other pieces. Tell me about the bowl that's on top of that wooden piece.
I don't see any markings. It doesn't have any chips.
It's a beautiful shape, Karen. I like the form. It's elongated, right? And then it kind of flares upward.
Right.
That's a beautiful shape. Now, it looks like frosted crystal to me.
Right, it is.
Yeah. Frosted crystal, very nice. And you don't see it. So I would put that probably late 1900s. I wouldn't put that early, like late 20th century. And I would probably put that, I don't know, I'd put that pretty high. How much do you have that priced at?
I have it at 40.
Oh, 40 is a bargain for that. 40 is a bargain for that, Karen. I like that very well. Here's what I like about it. I like forms that do something, right? So what does that mean? I like the fact that it's an oval. First of all, it's not round and it just goes out. Everybody can do that. It's an oval and elongated. And then also it flares outward. It's pretty long on one side. So it's sort of like a big rectangle or a big oval that's been elongated. And that's a form that you can do a lot with. So it's not only, it can be a fruit bowl or a punch bowl, but it can also have dried flowers or silk flowers in it. It could stand alone. So anytime that your piece is more versatile, it's easier for you to resell, right? And it's very important for those of you who are resellers to remember, when you're shopping like this, I want you to remember that once you're starting to list these pieces, you have to paint the picture for the potential buyer. So make these ideas come alive to them. So Karen, if somebody was interested in this, what are some of the ideas you might have about how they could use this piece?
Well, there's a lot of people do the succulent gardens now, so that would be a great one for that.
Oh, okay.
As well as dried flowers and so forth in there.
Okay, so now you wouldn't be afraid to put a plant in there, like a succulent?
I would probably put it in another container and just sit it in the glass.
Okay, okay.
Versus planting it in the glass.
Okay, so we wouldn't go straight in. You'd basically do that. I was thinking of something like that. See, me, I'd be a little bit afraid to put something that's going to grow in it, but I do like it. I also think it's really a nice form. I think probably, I don't know, I would say in that environment, you probably could get a little more than that. It's a nice piece. It's big too, and heavy, right?
It's very heavy.
Yeah, very heavy. So the bottles on the windowsill are fun, and they're usually pretty inexpensive. You know, I like to save wine corks. I am a wine drinker. I will say that. I like to have a little bit of wine, but I like to save the wine corks to remember places you've been. My mom would oftentimes do that, save a wine cork from, a graduation party or something like that. And it was nice to look back and remember them. So those wine bottles look pretty. They catch the light. A lot of people like to have glass bottles on windowsills. I think it's perfect the way you have those set up. And they don't have to be particularly unusual in their form. Like, they don't have to be the specialty objects. They can just be, sort of regular pieces. So I like those. So would you sell them all together? Because like someone like me might say, I want them all together. I want to have that little moment on my windowsill at home if I bought them all. I don't want to do one by one.
I do. I can sell them together or separately.
Okay. All right. How about hats? I see the hats behind you. It's a nice hat.
Actually, one hat. So
one hat.
Not a particularly old hat.
Yeah. And you know what I like too? The basket. One of my sisters was very, very crafty, and she used to make baskets. In the 1970s and 80s, crafts have come back really strong. Yeah, rag baskets. And rag baskets, of course, date all the way back into the time period when people were making, of course, patchwork quilts and such, all the way back to, of course, the slave days even, the middle part of the 19th century, the 1860s and such. But rag baskets are really, really becoming popular again. And that's a beautiful one with those handles. But one of my sisters was talented with that. I wasn't. But that reminds me of the rag baskets that would be wonderful to actually put together. So woven similarly like a reeded basket, but you're using, I call them rag baskets, rags or textiles instead. That one has some nice handles on it too that you don't always see. I like that piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's big. That could be used for a lot of things.
Right.
Although I wouldn't put a plant in that. Would you, Karen?
No.
No plants there. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Have you seen a change, Karen, with craft pieces? Have you seen people buying embroidery and people buying needlepoint and craft stuff?
Right. That's coming back around a little bit.
Yeah.
Younger crowd.
Oh, yeah. I see that. Yeah, I see that. It's kind of cool.
Wreath that has all those corks on it you were talking about.
Oh, that's a nice idea. See now, so that's a nice idea, something you could do yourself, but then, if you're not that crafty, you say, I can have that, and it's a nice piece. You know what those are great for? Those are great for kids' bulletin boards. So you get out the thumbtacks and you use it not only as a wreath for decoration, but it can be functional in the kitchen. So, you're leaving the kids notes. You don't have notes all over the place. I don't know how you are, but I have notes all over my kitchen to remind myself of things. I write a note, I put it near the coffee pot. I write a note, I put it over near the canister set. I think of things, and then I don't want to go all the way to the computer. I don't want to go to the office or whatever it might be. So I write things, but that would be a good idea for that. You can actually utilize it like a pegboard.
That's a good idea. I'll have to
Yeah. So does it have a wire on the back?
It has a rope on the back that hangs it up.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Great
It's
for the
pretty
back
heavy.
door too. Yeah, nice. Cool.
Very
So let's
pretty
look at some ceramics.
All right.
And then I'm going to make you look at jewelry. You know I am.
Yeah. This is I've had this set of china for 120 years. The gentleman I got it off of, he had it from his childhood, so he was 90 when he gave it to me, and it was his grandmother's. So
it's beautiful. So can you show me a mark on one of them? Well, before you show me the mark, show me the front. You know, everybody always wants to show me the mark, and I want to look at the beauty of it, what they did all the work about. So that's really gorgeous. So you've got the central form, of course, of the flowers. Then you've got all the detail all the way around. You've got what looks like a nice rope motif in a quatrefoil, those 4 little quadrants where it kind of gets indented at each corner. Yeah, that's really beautiful. I like the color scheme. Of course, that coral kind of golden color against the purple is a nice color scheme. Look at the chowder. Those are the 2 handles are chowder or bouillon, you know, where you can drink the soup right out.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay to slurp soup back then, right, Karen? Yeah.
Yes. Well,
that's a nice piece.
Too.
Right. So now the mark on it, England, Copeland Spode.
Yep.
Yeah, England, Copeland Spode. Oh, other side, other way. We got it upside down. You got it now, sweetheart. So Copeland, so it's Spode's aster. This is very old. I want you to look at this mark though and understand this mark. The Copeland Spode mark changes over the decades. And basically that particular mark is one of their earlier marks. Spode's aster, or when they call it Spode's something or other, actually will talk about the way in which that a particular pattern is only to Spode. So Spode will make its own pieces. England, of course, you want to have the great ceramics from England. How many pieces in the whole set? 100, 150?
There's 74 pieces altogether.
Oh, that's a lot of pieces for that age.
And there's 30 of them have either a chip or a crack.
Okay, so you go through and you actually inventory it and you actually condition report it. It's called condition reporting in museums. Right. So Karen actually went through and did the work for you. Whereas in a lot of thrift stores, a lot of antique shops, a lot of malls, they don't do that. They don't say 30 of them have a chip or a crack. Some of them have minor damage. Some of them have damage or condition issues consistent with age and wear. Karen's doing that for you. Okay, so you have what? Do you have 8 dinner plates?
I do not have 8 dinner plates. I have 4 large dinner plates and 4 smaller dinner plates.
Okay, now let me ask you another question. So, like for me, I'm going in, and all of you know that I'm single. I don't have a big, huge family here where I'm, service for 12 kind of thing. So say I want only 4. I want 4 dinner plates. I want 4 cups and saucers. I want 4 of the bouillons. I just want a set of 4. Would you let me buy that?
I probably would not.
Okay, and why? And I think I'm going to answer my own question, because the service is so old.
Right.
Yeah. Because you can't just eat. Yeah. You go ahead, honey.
The replacement value is a lot more. I could get a lot more if I sold piece by piece, but I would like to try to keep them as a unit because they came as a unit and they think they should stay that way.
So okay, so you're making a decision for your buyer. So how much are you saying if you buy all of it? Here's the cost.
I have it marked at $300.
Okay.
And if someone made me a great offer, I would wrap them up for them.
Okay, so this is what I like to hear, because I like to hear the exchange, because really what good owners want to do is they want to have the exchange and they want to have you come back too. Think of the store later when you need something else. So replacement value would be pretty expensive for just one of those plates, right? Yeah. So then you start to say, well, $300 for 72 pieces. I don't know if I said 72 or 74 pieces, but for all those pieces, when you start to do the math, and this is what I want you to do. The same way I want you to remember to wear a magnetic bracelet, for example, right? When you're there, so you can test the jewelry. I want you also to remember to bring that phone, bring that calculator, do the math. Stand there and do the math. Be polite, but do the math. So if you had to basically do this and you said $300 divided by 72, right? Or 75, you're looking at, again, a very, very low number per plate or per piece. right? So some people go, well, I don't know if I want to shell out $300 on this, but when you think about reselling it, you want to think about, of course, the way you would resell those pieces later on. And you could resell them at much higher. So that's a real good turn to people. Karen, will you go down to the blue onion to see the blue white at the bottom right there? I only say that because, of course, I love blue onion. I see blue onion and I'm with my mother and I'm back home in Connecticut and I'm a little kid holding her hand and I see blue onion and it really reminds me of Mom. So what's on the back of that? Does that say blue onion or is that one of the offshoots? So, oh, it does say blue onion indeed. And that one, of course, is a little bit later. And it has a little bit of crazing, but not bad. But it's, of course, the Wedgwood Tunstall piece. That's very, very nice. The blue onion right there. And that looks like, what is it? Is it a dish, a bowl?
It's a plate.
Yeah, it's a plate. It's nice. That's a nice piece. So just one. How much is that one? 25?
No, I have 10 on it.
Wow, you got to put that up a little higher.
Okay.
That's a nice piece of blue onion. Blue white, very, very popular. A lot of people like it. And of course, if you don't know about blue onion, it's very well known. But it basically shows you those nice blue onions that are there all the way around. That very typical and traditional pattern that dates all the way back into the late 18th, early 19th century. That's a nice piece. How about the lemon yellow, Karen? Over to your left-hand side, there's a lemon yellow bowl right there. Yeah, those are beautiful. Next to some Pyrex, it looks like. That one's nice. I like the other one too, right behind it. It's a little bit bigger. Yeah, that one's nice. That's a Hall, right? American made, of course, Hall pottery. And there was a time, of course, when we had the Pyrex ones that were all the different colors, right? And then there are some that the one right in front that you just put it back, still yellow. That's a pretty bowl. That's a nice lead glazed ceramic. I understand there might be a little bit of use on this bowl, but that piece is a winner to me. I think that's a very nice piece. I like that nice little movement. You know, I like that movement there. Let's see. Because you can always do something with a bowl. See, now that one I like too. I like that one. That one has some more age to it. I like that one and I like the one you just had in your hand. Those two I like very well. So if I wanted both of those and I said, I'll give you $50 for both of them, would you sell them to me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's really nice. Those are bargains, those two at $50. At $25 a piece, those are bargains. Those two bowls and other lead glazed ceramic early to mid 20th century bowls are always going to be a winner in any kitchen and for any reseller. And the reason for it is those pieces are functional and they're the types of pieces that are basically stationary. What do I mean by stationary? They sit. They're always there. They're the kinds of pieces that never leave a shelf. They never leave, above the cabinets. They're always there. They're the pieces that are there all the time. I like those. Let's look at some glass, Karen. Will you indulge me?
Sure.
Okay. I like the candlesticks right there.
Really?
Yeah, those are wonderful. Beautiful color. And then they have a pattern on them. You're not too far from the Pittsburgh area. So, of course, Pittsburgh is a great glass city, and Wheeling, West Virginia, not far either, where Fenton was, or is actually.
And we have a lot of glass companies that are in this area. We had Smith Glass, Elliott Glass. We had Jeanette Glass not far. We have
Jeanette,
Bryce Glass not far.
Yeah.
And Anchor Hawking not far from here.
Yeah, so those are very nice. I like that. I like that set very well. And I like the pattern too, because the pattern, if you don't collect grapes and you don't like the grape patterns, there's lots of grapes out there. Me, I'm not big on all the grapes. But
yeah, I'm not a
I
grape
like wine. I like wine, but I like the geometric patterns. I like the patterns that basically will repeat, kind of like those. I like the sturdy weight, and the color is beautiful. That's what I look for. I look for the color and I look for the pair. If there's not a match, I'm walking away, Karen.
Right.
So, I'm like that. And I'm very picky about the tops and the lids. I'm very picky about that. What have you got in your hand, hon?
This is a piece of Westmoreland glass.
Oh, yeah, Westmoreland glass. Right.
There's actually two, but they both have complete lids.
So So you've got the beaded lid, Westmoreland glass. It opens up, little trinket box with the feet.
Right.
Feet usually say I'm a trinket box. You know, they want
Okay.
it to stand up a little bit. You can put your earrings in it or little trinkets. My family, my sisters were oftentimes sewing and knitting and stuff. So there would always be a pin or a safety pin or a paper clip or a little needle in those kinds of little trinket boxes around our house growing up. And then the second one, may we see the top of the second one? Westmoreland, very, very easy to identify. Of course, the W mark on the Westmoreland glass. Usually it's right on the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know. We might get it. Yeah. There it is. You can kind of see it if you move it. If you move the piece. There it is. Ah, great camera work. Thank you. So the girls are working hard today. Denise is helping us on the camera. Thank you, Denise. So Karen, may I see the top? Because I wanted to talk about those heart-shaped, those heart-shaped flowers. Those are very indicative of the time period just prior to World War II. You're going to see that nice bow and, of course, the rose in the middle. It's usually great for Valentine's Day, their hearts. You know, a boyfriend's giving it to a girlfriend or an engagement kind of thing. And it can go either way. That's what I liked about it too. So all hand done. The beading is really quite nice. Beautiful that Westmoreland piece. I like those. And I think 25 is a very good price for those. I like 25 as a good price for those. What about this?
This is a piece of Fostoria.
So that's Fostoria. Fostoria, very well known too. So now some pieces that look that side, like look that shape of Fostoria, I have to say that those pieces, I start to go, okay, I understand that it's a bowl, but it kind of looks like it could also be a support for something else. Sometimes, not this piece, but some of those pieces, if they have a very, very wide base, sometimes they're the support, for the punch bowl.
Oh, okay.
That's obviously a small, I might call that a small compote or a candy dish.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice piece. I don't know if that's my favorite. How much is that?
I have 30 on it.
See, now I would not pay 30 for that. Now,
Okay.
I understand it's a nice piece, but I don't know. I don't think I would pay 30 for that. It doesn't really do it for me. I'd rather spend $25 on those little Westmoreland trinket boxes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That's just me. And that's a lot about taste. And I'll tell you why. Do you see how big and bulbous the top of the bowl is and how small and thin the bottom? To me, it seems sort of that the forms are off, sort of out of no, what's the word? It seems to me that the way the top is so heavy and the bottom is so slender, it doesn't seem like the forms are really working well together. I do like the middle round, but I would rather if that skirt at the bottom of the base was a little bit flared out more. I think it's just not really in sync for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know. And again, this is about taste, but it's also about what people will think they may resell or what will work well in a room or what will work well on a tabletop. You know, some people have very small spaces, and sometimes a piece like that I think it should be bigger. People are saying, no, Lori, I like it that it's small. So, you know, you have to deal with what you've got, you know, with what you're working with. What about the gravy boat behind it? Is that a gravy boat or a sauce boat?
I would say gravy.
Yeah. That's a nice piece. So it looks like Shenango, right?
It looks, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Shenango. Can we see the side? So a nice blue rim. So that's going to go with most things. So even if you had to add that to another table setting, if you don't have the whole setting. On the other side, is it decorated or no?
No.
No, it's the same all the way around. Yeah, I like that. That's nice and weighty and heavy. I also like see, now that's what I mean. That curve of that handle replicates the spout. And when it replicates like that, it's a nice organic form. Organic forms are the 1930s to the 1960s, that nice organic form. Whoosh, it's kind of just like, sort of like the crest of a wave in the ocean. I like that piece a lot. I like the form. I like the color. And I like that it's demure. It's not overwhelming, you know, it's demure. That's pretty. So I would how much is that?
$10.
Karen, I don't know. People should come and shop from you and then buy you lunch. That's low for that
but
too.
Believe it or not, it's been here a while. because
Oh.
it's the odd kind of thing that people aren't buying gravy boats.
So people aren't buying gravy boats, and you think it's because with holidays, more of us are going out to restaurants for holidays, and
Right.
also we're not doing the big entertaining. You know, my mother was one of 9, right?
Yeah.
So my mothers, my aunts, my uncles, all their kids, all their husbands and wives, everybody came for, you know, the big dinner at holidays. So they had all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I will say that my mother's grandkids are interested in this, but I have to say that I'm not entertaining like that as much. I do think that's a beautiful form. That's a really nice form. And it's something that you'll always have. The gravy boat, funny, if you get rid of the whole China set, for some reason, even though we're not serving gravy as much, you keep the gravy boat. I bet a lot of my viewers are saying, yeah, we kept the gravy boat, yeah. But that's a nice piece. Shenango, that's a nice set. And then the mark is nice and clear, tells you where it's been, obviously. Also in good condition. Crazing doesn't seem to be too much of a problem with these pieces. I'm not seeing a lot of crazing here, Karen. No, that's nice. So that's a nice set. That's a nice set too. Nice cabinet plates. If you never put them on your table, they're nice in the cabinet.
Right.
And that's Nautilus, made in the United States. And then it's got some of these other mold numbers and informative numbers about the pattern, right? So you can understand that. Can we see the front? I know we all love the marks, but I like to look at the front. Oh, that's a nice piece. That's a nice piece, a nice typical flower. Now, to me, it looks like the flower's not centered on that plate. So maybe we're holding it. Okay, yeah, maybe a little bit better. And those are the picayune things that I look for. I know you're thinking,
Well,
oh, Dr. Lori.
There's not one that looks like the flower's centered.
Okay, so then that's the design. Then that's the design. And then notice that some of the leaves are a little bit darker, some of the leaves are a little bit lighter, and then that'll depend on how you're actually holding the piece, right? And not by much, but these are the kinds of things that when you're in the antique shop or the thrift store, I want you to look and make sure that it really is a match because, well, these are all matches, but a lot of these plates and a lot of these pieces are actually, they're the same, but then they add another flower. So sometimes the patterns are closely related, but not exactly the same. In that case, they're exactly the same. That's going to be important for resale value too. So those are really nice. So is it a set of 6?
5.
A set of 5. So is it 50 for 5? Is it 100 for 5?
It's actually 50 for 5.
50 for 5 is really a deal too. And the terrine is beautiful. So do you see that if you buy the terrine, you actually, when people buy the terrine, they'll buy the gravy boat?
I hope so.
Yeah, because I guess my question to you is when they're buying the entertaining pieces, the pieces for entertainment, like the big soup tureen, the bowls you need, the plates you need, the bread plates you need. Okay, but when you're buying the tureen, does a person who buys a tureen also say, yeah, I want the gravy boat too because I really am entertaining?
Knowing my clientele, the person who's buying the tureen is going to be, I would say, somebody who's already has a lot of serving pieces and needs to add extra, something extra.
Okay. So they use the serving pieces more and more. Okay.
Right.
Get it.
Right.
That's a nice tureen as well. So, and then trays are really popular for millions of things. People will use trays that are intended for the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the bathroom. Like I'll tell you, my personal bathroom at my house has a lot of American pottery in it for things like cotton balls and Q-tips and things like that, because I like the look of pottery. I like the feel of pottery, and I'll integrate that in a bathroom for functionality, right? To use it, not only in the kitchen, not only to put a plant or to put a plant in. That's a nice piece. I like that. Nice and heavy and sturdy.
Right.
Oh yeah, look at that. I like the mold work. It's not that old, you know. It's not that old, but it's a nice color. It will go with a lot of things.
Right.
And then cake plates are still big. I'm still seeing people buying cake plates. Well, I'm seeing a lot of people who used to really spend a lot on cake plates. Cake plates have really made a nice presentation for a lot of reasons. Also for cupcakes, because cupcakes were popular, and cookies. So people are reusing cake plates not only for cake. I don't bake. I'm a lousy baker. I don't do any of that. Karen, do you bake?
No.
Yeah, I don't do that. I burn
There's
stuff.
a little Amish store up the road. That's my baker.
Oh, well, shoe five pie, right? The Amish, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're bakers. But piece like that can be used for lots of different things. A doily, and then Italian pastries like cannolis, or maybe cupcakes, or other types of cookies with a doily. But cake plates have become much more functional for many different things I'm seeing. So
Yes.
that cake plate, tell me a little bit about that cake plate. That looks like it has a molded indentation.
No names or markings at all, but it has a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of detail, a lot of decoration. So, might that be something like Westmoreland or Jeanette?
It could be Jeanette.
Yeah, it could be Jeanette. That's what I would think. So
I'd say
40
this is
for a
milk
cake.
glass.
Yeah, milk glass. So the nice white milk glass. And milk glass looks different colors. You're going to see different colors of the milk glass. I like that piece very well. And those are like in the $90 to $150 range if you're seeing them online.
Right. I have it for $40. If I sold it online, I would probably do more on it.
Yeah. So right there. So this is why you got to get to these stores. $40 for that. That's a steal. You could resell that for at least double, if not more. That's a beautiful piece. I like that a lot. Classic, typical, white, bright, nice. That's nice. I have seen that salt and pepper shakers really aren't doing as well as they once did.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's
somebody who wants to sell me a whole set. They have like 500 different ones, but they want them all gone together.
Oh.
Now, if I want to deal with 500 salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think a lot of people are not looking at them the way they did. It was fun with souvenir kinds of things for, in the 70s and 80s. People come home from, we went to New Hampshire. Oh, we went to Florida. Oh, we went wherever. And you brought home salt and pepper shakers. I think we're not using as much salt, too.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, in the 50s, you would have salt and pepper shakers that would match your actual service of china, your dinnerware service. So that's one of the tips that I oftentimes give, telling people, if you don't know the date of your china service, ask yourself, do I have matching salt and pepper shakers? Because that's not really introduced until the middle part of the 1900s. Wow, you guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow. Karen, we'll have to do this again, okay?
Okay, that sounds like fun.